Okay, I got straight up 7 o'clock. We will go ahead and call this meeting to order. And I'll ask someone out in Zoom land if they can hear me.
I have no one on Zoom.
No one on Zoom. Okay. We are missing one trustee. Trustee King is out. And with that, would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, with that, we'll go into our item 2, additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda. Do we have any?
We have none.
Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the agenda as written. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. We got that. Our next item, item 3, is our consent agenda, which is the minutes from our previous BoT meeting. If there's no questions, comments, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as written.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to reports. Trustees, I will start to my right. Trustee Walker,
No report.
Trustee Ives,
I don't have anything.
None.
okay, I will report that since a week ago, Monday, I have spent every day at the pool, adding plumbing from the well and repairing damaged plumbing. The pool is full of well water. And I think we're only really dependent upon chemicals and getting the chemical properties of the pool water stabilized before we can actually open. So there's still a little bit of cleanup. We rolled up one of the covers. We still have to roll up the black tarp. Needs to be folded up right now. It's just off to the side. The old pool cover is done. It's shredded. So I think Dusty was up taking measurements for a new pool cover, but we'll need to trash that one. And boiler's running. And the temperature, I think, this morning was a nice balmy 58 degrees. So yeah, more to come about when we may actually open. I think we may still try to target a soft, what do you call that?
Polar plunge.
Polar plunge on Friday. But again, it's highly dependent on the chemicals, and the place we normally get chemicals from is seemingly a little maybe not as in a good position to provide chemicals as they might have been in the past, but I think we're still trying to get them. So, and that is all I have to report. Moving on to staff reports.
Good evening. My report's pretty simple. We had 38 calls for service. El Paso County assisted us 2 times. We assisted El Paso County 4 times. All marshal's office reports are in and completed for the month. And the reserve officers worked 26 hours. We did have a suspect arrested in a stolen motor vehicle and a hit and run. The stolen motor vehicle was stolen out of Colorado Springs. was a young man who crashed up on Belvedere, but he did get arrested for that. And then we had a couple of tickets issued, parking and otherwise. And that, oh, the marshal's office will be shooting tomorrow, so we can continue to carry the bullets in our pocket.
Okay, trustees, any questions, comments?
Oh, come on, Andy Griffith, let's go. Come on, I'm waking everybody up here.
See, you had 7 traffic stops. Is that,
Traffic stops, we had, at the beginning of the month, we had, multiple complaints, about the cars speeding, up and down UPass Avenue in the downtown area. So we did a targeted enforcement and all of those stops were basically off of that area. And, nothing was so bad that we wrote a ticket, but we did, chew a lot of tails. How about that? And traffic slowed down.
Yep.
It worked.
Okay, trustees, any other comments, questions? Hearing none. Thanks, Marshall.
Thanks. for your
Appreciate it.
support. Appreciate
Okay.
you.
This is my report. This was a good exercise. This started out, I was trying to make a standard operating procedure for my job, and it turned into kind of putting it to a calendar. I keep adding things to this. I just added quarterly court since I posted this. This is going to be good. That would have really helped me when I was starting. And it's going to turn into a budget calendar. I have some notes at the bottom, I think. Where's the bottom? Here it is. Yeah, some of that would be really good to do. Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. Next up,
Thank you, clerk. Thank you, clerk. Ron. Nice work. Appreciate it.
Right, the next item in your report list is just a sample of our task list. This is items that we put on here so that they don't fall through the cracks. Oftentimes items that come out of work sessions or the board meetings that we need to be able to track progress on. This is something that we will begin to include in your reporting as appropriate. And then next up in the packet, I've got a pretty quick staff report with lots of exciting things on it and some updates even since this was last published. So our U.S. Forest Service Community Wildfire Defense Grant application was not funded. This is a very important project because it will eventually help to inform how we do fire mitigation activities and ensure that those activities are indeed improving emergency egress or could potentially have a strategic impact on fire behavior.
okay, can I interrupt? Did you say not?
It was
funded?
not funded, unfortunately. This was a
Okay.
highly competitive federal grant application that was submitted. This one was certainly very attractive because it did have a very low grant match on it of 10%. There is a similar grant application available through the State Forest Service that I would like to propose at a later date when the announcements come to be able to resubmit, but that one does require a 25% grant match. Now, because this project was identified for the Ute Pass corridor, rather than just Green Mountain Falls proper, I do believe that there is an opportunity to seek some support from some partnering organizations on it. Next up, the CPW dumpster blind is complete, almost. It's pending wood treatment and the dumpster delivery. A couple of final items that will need to occur prior to that becoming into useful service is that in order to load and offload the gable top dumpster down there, we'll need to have the utility line that hangs overhead raised. So CSU is in progress of making that occur. And then we're midway through, almost finished, designing a process with, the user base down there. So we'll be presenting that out. It's our goal to, ensure that it's affordable and but that at the same time, we have the ability to, cover costs of having it, traded out enough to where it doesn't become a nuisance in its own right.
And
So,
we'll get an updated fee schedule with that.
that'll actually be handled through an MOU with the
MOU,
business
okay.
owners, as a pro. The CDBG gazebo bridge rehabilitation project. It's going great. The bridge, decking has been replaced. The handrail went up today. They are still finishing up some of the spalling repairs down underneath and tidying up the electrical, but we anticipate that we'll be turning the lake back on Thursday afternoon in time to have enough water in there for our scheduled weddings on Saturday. There will be some other work that will occur after this weekend, and that'll be the tying in of the concrete pathway to the bridge itself, and then some final tidying up. But once that went off, once that hit the ground, it ran. The University Technical Assistance Team put together a survey in conjunction with the Parks, Rec, and Trails Advisory Committee. The results of that survey are being analyzed currently by our lead guard, and she'll be utilizing that information to design the summer's pool schedule. So ended up being really useful. We're going to try a couple of things, and it looks like if we can get the chemistry right down there, that we can have a soft opening polar plunge weekend this weekend. It'll ensure that things are running smoothly. It doesn't look like the weather is going to be super warm, so I don't anticipate that will be a great swim, but it's always a great community gathering place. So we will ensure to post an update once we know for certain. It'll be very short notice if we're able to open, but we'll get it on the website and posted to Facebook. Next up, our comprehensive roads and drainage study. We completed a training with Wilson and Company this spring. And so the Public Works Department is currently working on implementing some of those as appropriate recommendations from that roads plan in their road buildup. They did complete the first half of the town's application of magnesium chloride on Friday. There was a ton of road-based buildup that occurred over the last summer. This winter it froze nice and hard. Getting that mag chloride on there at the beginning of the season is crucial because it really does help to keep it in place and keeps the roads from rutting a ton. The next scheduled for the remaining part of town, the other half of town, is scheduled for this coming Friday. And then we'll begin looking at retreatment in the fall. In addition to that, they'll be working on putting together a tank to where they're able to apply it on site as needed when they do smaller sections of road-based buildup. Our fire mitigation co-swap CUSP Mile High Youth Corps Team Rubicon work is begin really soon. Team Rubicon was scheduled to come in over the weekend and work with private property owners who had signed up. They were going to be staying at the church. However, they had an illness and were unable to make that commitment. That'll be 40 to 50 crew members that will be hosted at the church. They'll be also frequenting the pool during non-operating hours for showers. But so you'll see a pretty cool team come into town here pretty quick. We do anticipate that CUSP and the Mile High Youth Corps will begin work on the Thomas Trail. They'll be working in opposite directions of the trail towards each other. Most likely that'll occur during the week, so they won't have to have trail closures during the weekends. But they'll have signage posted. We'd like to ask our trail users to please avoid areas when there are the signs posted because there are trees coming down. We have most of our FEMA projects submitted for reimbursement. We have a couple of projects wrapping that grant or that emergency repair work that still need to occur. Those include some non-completed city roads that didn't get accomplished because of time or because of the part of it's doing sediment removal from the creek. It was determined that that's better to do once the water levels have come down. So we're waiting on that.
Do we have a potential target for the repair of where the fences are caving in on you past near the
Yes,
lake?
as soon as they get through MAG, that's next.
Okay,
We are working towards submitting an additional FEMA type grant application that is geared towards building in resiliency into protecting our infrastructure. So more of the drainage aspect, culvert aspect of our city roads. That grant application is due middle of next month. So that's big. And then I would say the rest of it is pretty standard with the exception of we do have some new members of our team, of course, in the at the pool, but we also have a new employee who will be assisting this summer with maintenance. So wanted to thank the Parks, Rec, and Trails Advisory Committee for putting together a really great list of items that needed to occur throughout the summer. It helps to guide her work. And if you see her out in the community, give her a high five. I'm proud to welcome everybody else to the team.
okay, trustees, questions, comments?
Yeah, I have Clerk Bo. Do you normally keep these, or add these activity reports to the BOT packets?
No, not at all. This is a fairly new document and I've picked it up and put it down, you know, off and on over my time here. And just recently decided to get serious about it. Partly coordinating with Victoria, our new accountant, and trying to create a budget calendar. It's sort of been reverse engineered. But I can continue to do that or do it quarterly or get it to you as a correspondence if you see value.
Oh, in particular, I was talking about Manager Becky's activity report and Marshall's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we normally do staff reports. Sometimes one of the departments will be really busy with something going on. There's often a public works report. In there, those guys are just busy
Yeah.
right now and just couldn't get
Will
one in.
will we get those, what we see on the screen in our packets? The BOT packet.
Becky's, your text isn't in the packet, so I think that's the nature of the question.
Nor the Marshals.
We reposted the packet. So the first version that went out on Friday, I believe, probably did not have that in there. But the posted version that was posted yesterday does have it. And it's a pretty standard. I changed mine up. We all change ours up a little bit based on what's happening. But it really means to just keep you updated on all of our activities.
Yeah, it's good information. I like to keep track of it, so.
And
take
there
notes.
are months where it's, standard and not, it's more of the same. And I'll just give you a brief update orally. I do try to make sure that at least in one of your meetings a month, you've got staff reports that are written.
Thank you. Did that include my ticket, speeding ticket on the way over here tonight? Okay. Thanks.
Okay, trustees, any other questions, comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to our first public comment period. Do we have, I think we had one registered. Okay.
Catherine Guthrie, 10500 Mountain Avenue. We can all agree that we want to keep Green Mountain Falls beautiful. But the proclamation as it is written is fundamentally flawed. It was characterized as innocuous. This description may be either ignorant or disingenuous. The comprehensive plan, misquoted in the proclamation, is a guiding document, not a governing one. The big difference. Therefore, well, in addition, the therefore in legal terms means consequently. So the therefore in this proclamation is fraught with impossible and impractical directives. It is said beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The controversy around the Keith Haring Fitness Court is one recent example of how subjective beauty can be. The Board of Trustees is the only elected body in our town governance, and it's tasked with establishing policy. When considering any policy, it is vital to use one's imagination and knowledge to apply any and all scenarios to the questions: what precedent is being established? What may be the far-reaching, though unintended consequences? What could go wrong? I'm sure there's other questions to ask as well. But I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do we have other commenters? We'll go to the audience first. Seeing none, do we have public commenters on Zoom?
Not seeing anything coming in from Zoom.
Okay, with that, we'll close the public comment period. And it is 7:22, and we will open our two public hearings. The first one is on El Pueblo Cantina, review of the liquor license application.
We have listed on your agenda that two public hearings for two liquor license applications. You will revisit each of those items for final decision in your business items.
Okay, staff, do we have any other items you'd like to present as part of this?
I do, just the timeline. I received a complete application, which was made available to the public for inspection. That came in on April 16th. On April 17th, I sent it on to the state. The applicant paid an additional fee for a concurrent application so that it could be reviewed by the state at the same time that we're processing it here in town. The notice was published in the Pikes Peak Courier May 1st, and a poster went on the premises May 10th. All that is in compliance with the statutory timeline.
And that's for 10530, right? Correct? Okay. Okay. Do we have any evidence that the applicant would like to present?
I wouldn't say evidence, just Jesse Stroop, 10770 Florence Avenue. And I'm the operating manager of Green Mountain Falls Enterprises, and happy to answer any questions.
Okay, trustees, any questions? Okay, hearing none. We now go to the opportunity for the public to comment. Do we have any public comment? Not seeing any in the audience. How about on Zoom?
Not seeing anything coming in on Zoom.
Okay. We vote on these individually, correct? But we're not into a voting. We're just public hearing right now. Sorry. Okay. Well, with that, we will now move into the other public hearing item is the review of the liquor license application related to Bronc Day.
That application was received on May 1st, notice in the Courier, May 8th, posted on site May 10th, in keeping with the statutory timeline. And that application was available for public inspection.
Okay, would the applicant like to present evidence?
Shelley Scott Nash, 7095 Iona. So this is for Bronc Day. It's a single day license. It's a special event license, just to be clear on that. It's only for one day. And we're only serving alcohol, wine and beer from 11 to 2 that day. So pretty contained. And Bronc Day, of course, is being presented by Building Ute Pass Community. So that's who is pursuing the license, is Building Ute Pass Community. And we haven't had alcohol at Bronc Day previously. So we've done a lot of investigation, talking to the marshal and Becky and Bo, and really trying to come up with a plan that's enforceable with fencing and signage. We'll have monitors at exits with drop your beverage here, no alcohol past this point, with trash cans. And we have 2 people at all times checking IDs and taking payment, and 2 separate people at all times serving right next to the ID checkers. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, Marshall Goings, are you okay with the barrier locations?
Yes, we talked about it fairly extensively at a meeting. I
Okay.
believe that we will be good at having these.
And well, my question would be on the lower part of the trail. Where you see Lake Street, there's that trail that you can kind of go up around. Is there another one that's needed over there? Yeah. No, it's okay. So where it says monitor barricades and integrated egress, you see that one on Lake Street. Now go towards the lake. There's a trail that kind of goes around there that can bypass that. Do we need anything there?
I think they were gonna fence any openings that they have off.
Okay.
And is there any issues if we make our venues smaller than this to be more contained,
I don't have any.
if
You-
we choose to do that?
You do have the ability to shrink it down afterwards. This is the maximum boundary that is allowed.
So we'll continue to work with the marshal and
Okay.
get something that works with the number of volunteers we have and where we're gonna sell the beer.
So one question, are children or kids under drinking age allowed to be within the boundary?
Yes, so we are thinking we'll sell the beer and wine in the green box area by the farm stand. So, and that's also where the picnic tables will be, so people can sit and eat and drink their beer, and the pie contest. Yes, that will be true. And we will get those bracelet things.
Trustees, any other questions, comments? Okay, with that, I thank you, Shelley. Appreciate it. We'll move on to the public comment. Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to comment? Do we have anyone on Zoom?
I'm not seeing anyone on Zoom wanting to comment.
Okay, well, I have, with that, I think we closed the public hearing. I have 7:29. We will close the public hearing. We'll move on to our business items. And the first item is item 7A, the El Pueblo Cantina liquor license application. And if there's no further comments or questions, I would go ahead and entertain a motion on that.
I'll make a motion. We approve it.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the El Pueblo Cantina new liquor license application. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now move on to item 7B, the Bronc Day special event liquor application. And again, if there's no questions, comments, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move that we approve the license.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the special event liquor application for the 86th Annual Bronc Day. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next item up is item 7C, the application for Park Rec and Trails.
Jesse Stroop, Chair of PRT. Danny Hines was not only the only applicant to fill the volunteer position as a new member of our committee, also the best qualified. She served as alternate, as an alternate for the last several months and is very skilled in the area and gets along great with committees. So the PRT would ask that you add her to our committee.
Bo, I'm going to ask you to move the projector so we're not partially blinding our speakers. Thank you. Trustees, any questions, comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'd like to move that we approve Danny as PRT member.
Second?
Been moved and seconded, we approve Danny Hines's application for the Park Rec and Trails Committee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next item up is item 7D, the special event for the Monday concert series.
I would like to provide a little bit of clarification on this special event application as opposed to the other one. It's by some misfortune that the State Liquor Licensing Authority also calls their event applications for events a special events permit application. We also use a different special events permit application just for permitting our spaces. It's unfortunate that it has the same name, but this one does not contain, this particular type of application is not requesting alcohol use.
Do we have someone that would like to talk to this?
Thank you. Yes, I guess you could say that the concert series is backed by popular demand. We've really had great turnout the last few years, and it's been requested that we actually extend a little bit into September this year. And I think as the nights get, well, as sundown comes sooner, it definitely adds to the ambiance, and the green box installation that'll be down by the gazebo will be a nice addition this year as well. And we're hoping to bring back a lot of the same bands that played last year, since folks seem to really enjoy that variety of music.
Trustees, any questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the permit.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded, we approve the Monday concert series special event permit. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next item, a 4th of July block party special event permit.
So this application is for the standard green box 4th of July block party, including the water lantern launch. Same live music. We'll have a food truck that will be there and do the water launch with the lanterns again.
Okay, trustees, any questions or comments? Thank you. And hearing no questions, comments, I'd entertain a motion on this one.
I'll move to approve it. Approve the permit.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded, we approve the special event permit for the 4th of July block party. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next item, 7F, the special event permit for the July Blues and Beers.
This permit application is for the second block party of Green Box. Even though it's titled Blues and Beers, we do not anticipate having beers. At this one, we will be submitting special event liquor licenses for 2 alternate events in a forthcoming meeting. This one will not include liquor. So this is a standard block party without a water lantern launch, using the same barricades to block off Lake Street that we do at all block parties.
Trustees, questions, comments? Hearing none, thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Move that we approve the event.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the special event for the 13th of July Booze and Beers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thank you very much. Our next item up is the Keep Green Mountain Falls Beautiful proclamation. And I'll kind of start by saying conceptually, I got no problem with it. I got major problems with the language, both the last 2 whereas statements and then the now therefore. Do not turn things off. We just had a bunch of noise come in through here. Yeah. So yeah, I can't support anything that may elude to us trying to maybe do something that might pull our limited resources from a priority item to a non-priority item. And the whereas statements, when I looked at the comp plan, it's kind of a mix and match, especially the last 2. What's currently in there, the language is mixed and matched. And so I got problems with that. For example, our natural resources as listed in the comp plan are 3 creeks, waterfalls, rugged cliffs, forests, wildflowers, abundant wildlife in the lake. And this kind of adds some other things into it. I didn't see anything listing any cultural resources. So yeah, I'm totally okay with the concept, but I cannot support the language. So trustees, any other comments?
Having spent a bunch of time with the comp plan here recently, in anticipation of the priority discussion that we had during the pre-meeting, it's my interpretation that the comp plan is making recommendations versus being legislative, as Catherine Guthrie has mentioned. So I believe that needs clarification, and so that's item 1. Item 2, what's the difference between a proclamation and a declaration?
Public statement.
And while Manager Frank's looking that up, Trustee, did you consider this being a declaration?
No, just because a proclamation is specifically a public statement.
And I know you and I have privately discussed the language in the last therefore. Have you considered the obligation that the town will be under with the language as written, and any consideration for softening it?
Everything that's listed in there is already official town policy. It's taken directly out of the comp plan. Comp plan is a quasi-legal document because it's intertwined in the municipal code. It's specifically listed in the municipal code by page number.
Help me understand that further, because I did a word search on the Muni code earlier today looking for comprehensive plan, and I certainly found multiple references. Chapter 2, which is administrative, Chapter 7, and Chapter 11. And while it makes references to the comprehensive plan, I still feel like it's a stretch from what you're saying.
What's a stretch?
Well, so let's stick to the administrative chapter, chapter 2. So in it, with the roles and responsibilities for the various committees, it speaks to compliance to the comprehensive plan. Correct?
The municipal code, yes.
So it's speaking to compliance, but it's not speaking to the comprehensive plan itself, setting the policy as you've outlined in your fourth whereas.
If that wasn't the case, then the Muni Code wouldn't ask the PC to review any changes that the board wanted to make. But it does. So this is a very innocuous statement, in my opinion, because I'm just basically taking what's already official policy that's stated in the comprehensive plan and making a public declaration of it. I don't mind making a public statement that I want to keep Green Mountain Falls beautiful, and I'm going to use all my governing power, authority that been given to me by my electorate to do that. So if you guys don't agree with me, that's your right.
I believe you're going to find full support. When you review the comprehensive plan, it certainly states that the natural beauty of Green Mountain Falls is one of our main assets. It's something that that brings us here, keeps us here. I think the two issues that I have is one on precedence. And I believe, Catherine Guthrie mentioned that as well. Precedence with the strength of the language that follows. And so I also took time to look at other proclamations and declarations. And I feel like the language is, as Mayor Dixon stated, is very specific and binding us with obligations that could become detrimental for us as a governing body if we can't fulfill those obligations. So,
Are you suggesting we reword it?
well, you're the owner, and I'd like to ask you, so I think, I believe you've gotten good feedback from both Mayor Dixon and, now that I've dug through this myself, that particularly the commitments made in the last therefore are too strong.
It's already official policy. I'm not trying to make any new policy in this proclamation.
Manager Frank, do you have an answer for me about the differences?
I found a couple of different examples of definitions. A declaration is a formal, explicit statement or announcement. It can be issued by anyone or any group. A proclamation is a specific type of declaration. It is an official declaration issued by a person of authority to make a certain announcement known. This is certainly coming off of Google and not from legal.
And so that's not we wouldn't have anything within our code policy that would help authors write either a declaration or a proclamation, is what you're saying.
No, but what we can do, if you would like, we can pass this through legal for a quick review on it and have any suggested edits that might be, or the consequences of not amending it be known.
I'd rather not waste the money on legal. It's not worth it. We're just talking about a public statement of we're going to do everything we can to keep Green Mountain Falls beautiful. That's it.
And I support that. And my recommendation would be to turn this into a proper a declaration, with that statement, having, keeping it beautiful and us being the gem of the Rockies. I think that kind of a declaration that you'd get full support on.
Trustees, any more discussion? If not, I'm going to call for a motion.
Don, do you feel like it's something we can rework a little bit to try to make it more palatable, or you think it's just as it stands?
I'm open for rewording, but I'm saying right now, if you take out the and whereas, then it's not even worth the print that's on the paper. There's no point in it.
I don't see anything that's binding in this statement. I think the way it reads to me is as a statement of, the values that we want to push forward as a town. And that we're going to try to do everything we can to do that. I don't see anything there that binds us to any particular action or inaction.
Yeah, I tend to disagree. I think the now therefore statement actually does, because we pledge and we put that out in the community, and we can't pull resources to maintain that pledge.
What in the pledge is going to take resources?
Well,
that we
because it
don't already
pledges,
sp- that we already don't apply.
it pledges we do something that, okay, just like has been brought forward, the Keith Harding area, keep Green Mountain Falls beautiful. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Does this mean anyone who has a parked car, if we're not immediately having it towed away, are we not keeping Green Mountain Falls beautiful? Does it mean every time?
I don't see that written anywhere.
That's what I get from the now for, and I just can't support that language.
Well, I find it general enough and I say we vote on it.
Yeah, I've called for a motion. So
I move that we adopt it, the proclamation.
I'll second.
it's been moved and seconded we adopt the proclamation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, let's do roll call. Don and Sean said aye. All opposed, nay. We have 2 nays. Motion failed. Is there an alternative motion?
Oh, I guess that about covers it.
Again, I'd like to see this as a declaration stating that we're going to keep Green Mountain beautiful and identify it as the gem of the Rockies.
Is that a motion?
A motion,
I
not
can rewrite it.
It's a motion. I'd like Trustee Walker as the author to modify his own document with that recommendation if he wants to see it pass.
Respectfully.
Okay. So since motion failed, we have no second motion. We will be moving on to item 7H, Park Rec and Trail Committee concrete bridge restoration.
The bridge, down over by Pool Park, that has peeling paint, old artistic, painting that is fading away, and they want to, reinstate that. Different concepts, which they would like to approve, through some public engagement. So the PRT recommended a 2-pronged approach, one being that we ask town staff to make necessary repairs to the spalling on that bridge. And the second, that Board of Trustees allow that group to adopt that bridge as adopt a park program, and allow them to do some community engagement and get a concept approved for that beautification. And Shelley can speak to that also.
Do we have any potential, do we have estimated costs
There is not. So, and I did recommend that during when they got that concept approved, that there be a budget with that also. We don't have one at this time.
Okay. Is there a timeline when they're wanting to try to see this?
We stepped through the calendar of everything that could potentially happen. First step being here tonight, second step going through some community engagement, probably during a June PRT meeting. So hopefully being able to do this in latter July.
Is this something staff can handle, or is this something we need to contract out for the basic prep of the bridge?
It really depends. Staff is pretty booked as far as our roads crew go through the next several weeks at least. I would like to go ahead and get at least a preliminary idea of what it would cost to have a contractor do it. I'm not entirely certain that they have experience in applying adhesive, or that our equipment that would be needed to do so is in good enough repair to accomplish it well. So I would like to look at what it would cost to have a contractor do it if possible.
Is this something we need to table until our next meeting to get that information?
We could table it or if you would like to approve a maximum budget for it, that's another option. It would be kind of good to know what an anticipated budget entails as far as materials outside of the
Yeah, let me further explain. What we're asking for tonight is that you allow this group to adopt the bridge as part of the Adopt a Park program. That would be the action tonight. Town staff then could get a contractor to take a look at that spalding to see what it would cost to repair it. By the way, they're doing that application currently on Gazebo Bridge Island, so maybe that contractor could give us a number. And then the third piece would be another PRT meeting where the concept and budget for the decorative paint would be looked at.
So okay, hang on. Hold on. We got comments coming from the general public. If there's questions, Jesse, was there a question posed to you that?
There was a question posed as to who BIFS is. That's the group that approached us to do this work. And with help from the audience, that is the Belvedere Iona Falls Avenue residents. Yeah. There's a lot of biffs and boops and Bix happening all at the same meeting. There we go. As presented.
That's present. Okay, so trustees, it's been clarified that the action tonight is to approve the adopt a bridge area, or basically adopt a
Park area.
park
Which is the
area for
bridge.
to include the bridge for this organization. So do we have questions, comments?
I have a comment. I was brought in by the group because of my background and experience in contracting construction. It's for future reference, Manager Becky. It may be that we have some volunteer that's qualified to do some of the work on the bridge if it's approved. And so that's something to keep in mind.
Thanks. I think that's great. I think when those opportunities are available, if we can just make sure that they are part of the proposal, so that we're aware.
So, okay, so you're not asking for any funding tonight. You're just asking for the adopt a park. Okay. So trustees, any further questions or comments? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If there's no further questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the motion, I make a motion that we approve the BIF committee as in the Adaptive Park realm for the Fountain Creek Bridge or the Catamount Creek Bridge. Yeah.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approved the BIF residents to have them adopt the Ute Pass Avenue Bridge area over Catamount Creek. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So now takes us to item number 8. Any discussion items? And Becky, I'm gonna ask about our audit and the possibility for the special meeting.
So we are nearing the final preparation required for our audit. We are working with our auditor to identify some dates that they will be able to come and do your audit presentation. We have a couple of, excuse me, scheduling items in the near future that may require some adjustment to your meeting schedule. First off, I'll be out of pocket for a period of about 12 days, beginning May 29th, running through June 11th, refilling my cup with my family. So not a great opportunity there. The next scheduled or calendar opportunity that this would fall on would be July 8th or June 18th. We will have several members of staff and the Board of Trustees out at CML. And while we could certainly do a Zoom meeting for regular business, this would not be a great environment for your audit presentation. So we will begin looking at some alternative dates to do a quick special meeting based on the auditor's availability. And I'd like to ask you to do everything you can to let me know which dates will and won't work for you when that correspondence arrives.
Any other discussion items? We did receive correspondence, but the correspondence came from the public speaker. So that we'll move on to our second public comment period. Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to comment? Anyone on Zoom?
Nothing coming in from Zoom.
Okay. And unless I've forgotten everything that's made it through our agenda, it is now 7:58 and we are adjourned.